The death of a 17-year-old from Quincy has landed two of the victim's friends and their alleged drug dealer in jail. Jesse Payne was found dead from a heroin overdose outside of an apartment building in his hometown last August. 24 Hour News 8's Joe LaFergie's live at the Kalamazoo County Courthouse with more on this case. Joe?
Brian, this story has taken us from here in Kalamazoo, where police say the victim and two acquaintances bought the drugs back in August, all the way south down to the town of Quincy in Branch County, where the victim died.
In this vicinity right here.
Neighbors remember hearing sirens and other commotions that night.
There was cop cars, ambulance, and right between these two trees here, they were working on, obviously it was Jesse. That was the apartment.
Jesse Payne had been in apartment 5 with two other men, but when the heroin he'd shot up shut down his body, it appears the two men were more worried about themselves than their 17-year-old companion.
Well, he died in the apartment, the guy's apartment, and then they drug him through the window after he had died, and they laid him behind the apartments.
Right outside my window.
Yeah, right between the two pine trees.
Today, 26-year-old Eric Taylor, who lived in the apartment, and 23-year-old Stephen Smith were charged with delivery of a controlled substance causing death, a felony that could get them life in prison.
I'd classify them as bad.
Murderers.
Prosecutors say earlier the trio had traveled to Kalamazoo to buy the heroin. The alleged source, 41-year-old Walter Johnson, who in court documents prosecutors call a long-standing substantial heroin dealer. Johnson's been arraigned on the same charge. State police say it took the last 7 months to put their case together. Heroin's been a major problem in Kalamazoo and suburbs, but in Quincy and nearby Coldwater, just a few miles north of the Indiana border, it's not the kind of thing you hear about. So is heroin moving to the country?
Overall, it hasn't been a big issue down in the Coldwater area for us. In this case, obviously we got involved and started looking at it really hard because a 17-year-old boy was found dead.
Police say the death of Jesse Payne, who was awaiting the birth of a baby girl when he died, appears to be an isolated case. His family just wants justice.
They deserve life in prison. You can't bring back anybody, but if they get them off the street, maybe somebody else will live.
Johnson will be back in court on April 5th. The other two men, Taylor and Smith, on April 6th. That is when they'll find out if there is enough evidence in this case to bring the case to trial. Live in Kalamazoo, Joe LaFergie, 24 Hour News 8.